No, Commissioner Levin voted no.
Which item? Which item?
Number 5.
I, right, yeah. Item 5, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a professional service work order for Marlin Engineering. Oh, let me read that. For Marlin Engineering for the professional engineering services to provide the city with design and construction documents for bicycle lanes in each direction along Southwest 64th Street from 62nd Avenue to 69th Avenue.
Move the item.
Second.
Discussion?
Well,
Yes, sir. Can
Yeah, just quickly. Oh, sorry.
well, I pulled it too, so I'll say what I'll say first, and then you say what you say from wherever you are. And anyway, I pulled it because when we had the various workshops, this $200,000, was never discussed, and I just think we need to have a little input, especially from the people on 64th Street, who will be most immediately affected, and whether or not they want this to happen. I want it to happen. However, the $200,000 makes me think that we owe it to the residents to have a workshop and discuss it. That $200,000 was never discussed any time previously. That's all.
The $200,000 was in the budget, and in the capital improvement plan specifically for this. This has been discussed in the city since 2014, and you're going to let a small handful of people keep you from getting bike lanes on 64th Street, you're out of your mind. I don't know that anybody's opposed to it, but it's a perfect place for bike lanes. It traverses the city. And it's bike lanes, for heaven's sakes. We're not talking about opening a super highway on 64th Street. We're talking about putting in bike lanes to reduce traffic and make things safer for kids and get them to the school safely. And if anybody plans to oppose bike lanes on 64th Street, it'll be, over my dead body. Yeah, absolutely. You have to kill me first.
Who's got the gun?
Okay, take it easy.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that this is safer for me to oppose from outside commission chambers.
It's absolutely
So like
safe.
Commissioner Harris,
It's absolutely safer.
Like Commissioner Harris.
But I know where you live.
I'm concerned about
They'll
the
hunt you down.
I'm concerned about the $200,000, and it's a small stretch. There's no connectivity bookending this bike lane.
Actually, there is connectivity.
Other than-
There's connectivity on to the greenways plan. This is part of the city greenways plan, but it's one of the few that goes on a significant road. And for that reason, instead of doing sharrows on 64th Street, it was agreed upon that they would be protected bike lanes just because of the traffic concerns. Normally, through the greenways plan, each road will be much less expensive because they're not separated from the roadway; they're part of the roadway. So this is sort of the crown jewel of the greenways plan. The rest of it will be much less expensive, and so it's going to connect up with the Ludlam Trail over on the west side, Red Road on the east side. It'll go past Madison Square. It'll connect up with Ludlam. It'll take people into the schools. It's the two middle schools. It's it's one of the routes that the kids traverse regularly every day. So it's a very important sort of neighborhood connector route through the city of South Miami. Vice Mayor.
Yes, sir. I spoke with a resident who lives in 69th Avenue and 64th Street, Mr. Hussein, and he's all in favor of part of his swale becoming this bike lane. This bike lane is basically the reason we spent $150,000 on the intermodal transportation plan, and yes, this engineering is what we've got to do to be able to pull the permits to get those bike lanes built. My only problem with this is that it says it's going to 69th Avenue. It needs to say go to the Ludlam Trail, which is 69.5 Avenue.
So is that an amendment?
I would, Mr. Manager.
Before you make that motion, if I may, but
You
Did
go-
you have anything else?
That's it.
So that would actually be outside the city.
Uh-huh.
If you remember, we only touch the Ludlam Trail at the school and the park, and 6 residences immediately south of that.
So we can't build in County
Every
Road,
other
obviously.
place where the trail is, we do not get there. That would have you spending city resources outside the city.
Correct.
While I have the floor,
How much would that be, by the way, I mean, the county has built us sidewalks. What if we were to do half a block of trail? Would that break our bank to connect that up to the Ludlam Trail?
we haven't addressed any of that. So we would have to do surveys. We would have to,
Got it.
et cetera. We would have to completely back up the project,
Okay,
and we have grant funding for this project. The grant was issued on October 1st of 2015.
got it. It's got to spend it.
It expires on September 30th of this year.
Okay,
So we have to get about it.
got it.
Mr. Mayor, the south side of 64th Street, west of 69th Avenue, is county. The north side of 64th Street, west of 69th Avenue, is South Miami. That,
But it would still take a complete set of surveys and then reconfiguring the contract that we're under right now.
yeah,
And we will time out. We're gonna have to get an extension on this thing anyway.
yeah.
But the farther back we push it,
Sure, but anyway, if the bike lanes stop on 69th Avenue
it
and the
doesn't,
Ludlam Trail is another 150 feet, that'll look like a typical government job.
it doesn't mean that we can't go back and do it later.
Okay, then we're going to have to go back and do it later because it's going to happen.
Okay, Bob, we're going to have meetings
I vote yes.
we're going to have meetings for the CIP plan this summer, so you can add that,
If I can make a few points here.
please.
I certainly think it makes sense to have bike lanes on 64th, particularly for the kids, help them get to school. But with that said, I have heard some concerns of people on the 64th Street. And Mr. Vice Mayor, you raised the issue of Ludlam Trail. I think there's some concern in terms of people seeing a lot of traffic coming through there, which they're concerned about. So I think before we move forward on this, we need to do some outreach to the neighborhood, let them understand that if we do this, exactly how it's going to play out. So I can't support this currently until we do that outreach.
Okay.
Mr. Manager, what kind of outreach do you think this needs at this point? I mean, tell us about the neighborhood impact, other than getting kids to school safely. And we've got a grant writing on this. We approved this in our capital improvement plan. We approved it in our transportation plan. We've had every opportunity for residents to see that this was being planned by the city. I'm just not clear why anybody would be in opposition to making it safe for people to bicycle along 64th Street. It's not like we're adding another lane of traffic here. This is, what's the problem here? We've got a big wide swale.
I think the concern is, can I answer that for you?
Please,
I think the
please.
concern that people are saying is, I'm not saying that they're right, but I'm saying that the concern is that you mentioned Ludlam Trail, bike lanes. People are feeling like this could be done. It's going to impact their quality of life. There's going to be a lot more bikes, et cetera, et cetera, et
Oh
cetera.
my God, more bikes?
Oh, okay, but
Horrible.
you have to recognize not everybody agrees with you on certain issues. And so what I'm saying is I want to make sure that people understand exactly what we're doing. That's all that I'm saying. And if we can do that, then we can maybe get this moving.
Who in this city is opposed to more bikes? And why do we, forgive me, but why do we care about people who are opposed to more bicycles in the city of South Miami? I mean, for real?
Yeah.
For real? Are you guys joking?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor.
When did more bicycles in the city of South Miami become a problem? I swear I didn't drink anything for dinner except water.
Okay, we can count votes. It appears that we could get Commissioner Edmonds' vote if we delayed it for one commission time and yours truly tomorrow put a flyer on everybody's doorstep that lives in 64th Street saying the bike lanes are coming through.
Mr. Manager, what kind of timeline are we up against here? Can
Why is there a
can-
timeline?
Can we handle one?
A grant.
Can we handle a 2-week delay?
Here's my feeling on that.
3-week
If
delay.
if that's acceptable to the commission as sufficient public outreach, then I would say yes, we can handle it. Now, I'm very concerned about the timeline. We got this thing on the agenda as soon as we could, once we got our consultants on that we could farm this thing out to do the engineering. We've been through a process. We've been working along. We went through the SMIT and got it included there, et cetera. We've been going through the process. This is a CDBG grant. It comes from the same agency at the county that had our pool money. The city of South Miami has a history of blowing deadlines on grants, particularly in this realm. And as the mayor knows, because he sat in 2 meetings where the deputy mayor recommended to the mayor of the county to not approve our extension of the grants. We're going to have to get an extension of this grant. There's no way we can finish this thing out within the grant period. We're already going to have to extend the period. That's going to be a question that the mayor's office downtown decides, is whether we can extend that grant. So if we can agree that a 2-week delay till June 6th is going to be sufficient based on a flyer run and to get the message out, I'm willing to take that risk that will resolve everything. And I agree with the mayor. This thing has been through numerous public hearings already. But I get that, there still may be people out there that, weren't up to speed.
Nobody on 64th Street has contacted me in opposition to this. Absolutely nobody. And I usually hear from everybody who cares, except for the usual people who just don't want the city to do anything, but they don't live on 64th Street. Commissioner.
Well, first of all, is it this 199,000 a grant?
The grant was
It's already a grant that we have?
$355,000.
And we could lose that? Okay, listen, I don't want anything over your dead body, because I want you to run, House of Representatives. So nothing over your dead body, so I'll vote yes.
Okay, and then I'll go flyer 64th Street, and we can expect a whole audience full of people throwing pitchforks at us next time.
I doubt that.
Great.
Okay, I count 3 votes, so
So, Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Commissioner Edmond?
No.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner
What are we voting
Lehman?
for?
Commissioner Lehman?
Wait.
No.
Number
Is
5.
this the amendment?
We're voting for the amendment, right?
Or are you
No,
are you
we're
voting
voting
for
for
this item or to defer this item?
The item, for the item.
Well, it needs to be amended before you do that.
How do you wish to amend it?
Well, the simplest amendment is on line 18 to change Southwest 64th Avenue to Southwest 64th Street. And on line 25 to change Southwest 64th Avenue to Southwest 64th Street.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Um,
So the item as a whole.
The item as a whole, Commissioner Vice Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Edmond?
No.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Lehman?
No.
And I vote yes. Passes 3-2.
To keep you alive.
Okay, make me a